excuse me, sir. Sir, please, side, please, sir. Sir, side, please.
நான் அந்த பக்கம் போய் வருது காடு உங்களுக்கா இந்த இருக்கு சார் சார்
குமாரண்ணே
குமாரண்ணே
கார்டு மட்டும் கார்டு கேளுங்க பாருங்க தேங்க்ஸ்
நீங்கள் உட்காந்து கீழே உட்காந்து கீழே உட்காந்து கீழே உட்காந்து
ஓகே
சார் ப்ளீஸ்
கொஞ்சம் பேக் ப்ளீஸ் சரி
அவங்களுக்கு இங்கே வர வாங்க
Vanakkam, Namaskar, good morning to all. Alagappa University welcomes you all to the seminar on G20 New Delhi Leadership Declaration and Emerging World Order, India's cutting-edge energy technologies on clean energy. Let us all stand for National Anthem followed by Tamil Thai Vazhuthu and Vallal Vazhuthu.
जनगण मन अधिनायक जय हे भारत भाग्य विधाता पंजाब सिंध गुजरात मराठा द्राविड उत्कल बंगा विंध्य हिमाचल यमुना गंगा उच्चल जलति तरंगा दव शुभ नामे जागे दव शुभ आशीष मागे गागे दव जय गादा जनगण मंगलदायक जय हे भारत भाग्य विधाता जय हे
As a symbol of wisdom and sustainability, may I request His Excellency the Chancellor and the Governor of Tamil Nadu and the dignitaries on the dais to light the Kuthuvilakku. Thank you, dignitaries. May I request Honorable Professor G. Ravi, Vice Chancellor of Alagappa University, to deliver the welcome address.
Most respected Honorable Governor of Tamil Nadu and Chancellor of Alagappa University, Sri R.N.Ravi, respected Professor Krishnan, Vice Chancellor of Central University of Tamil Nadu, Thiruvarur, learned Professor Selvam, Vice Chancellor of Bharatidasan University, Tiruchirappalli, respected ADC and Deputy Secretary to the Governor, respected Member of the Parliament, members of the Legislative Assembly, Collector of Sivaganga District, Superintendent of Police and other officials from the Police Department, officers of the NCC Battalion Karaikudi and other officials of the government, members of the syndicate, the Senate, the Planning Board, the Registrar, Controller of Examination, special officers, deans, heads of the departments, faculty members, administrative staff, distinguished guests, so especially Dr. Vairavan, grandson of our Alagappa Chettiar, respected citizen of Karaikudi, press and media friends, research scholars, my dear students, ladies and gentlemen. I extend a very warm welcome to all of you for the one-day seminar on the G20 New Delhi Leadership Declaration and the Emerging World Order, India's cutting-edge energy technologies on clean energy, organized by our university. I deem it a great privilege and honor to welcome our Honorable Governor and Chancellor of our university. The Honorable Governor, a scholar par excellence, hails from Patna, which was called Padaliputra in ancient times, and it was known as a seat of learning and scholarship. Though he was a postgraduate in physics, his passion for journalism was immense. He started his career as journalist, and after a brief period, he joined the Indian Police Service in 1976 and was allotted to the Kerala cadre. He served in Kerala in various capacities for over a decade, and then in different parts of the country in various capacities. While serving in the Central Bureau of Investigation, he led several anti-corruption crusades against organized criminal gangs, including the mining mafias. During his tenure in the Intelligence Bureau, Minister of Home Affairs, Government of India, he helped in quelling insurgencies and violence in many places, including in the Jammu and Kashmir, the Northeast, and other infected regions. He has specialized in the dynamics of human migration in South Asia and worked extensively on the political sociology of border population. He has played crucial roles in conflict resolutions in the affected areas and was appointed as the center interlocutor for the Naha peace talks. After retirement from government service in 2012, he was appointed as the chairman of Joint Intelligence Committee in the Prime Minister's office. He coordinated and guided the agencies to meet the national security needs of the country. He was appointed as Deputy National Security Advisor in October 2018. He served as the Governor of Nagaland for 2 years before assuming charge as the Governor of Tamil Nadu in 2021. I wholeheartedly welcome you, sir. The distinguished guest, Professor Krishnan, is the Vice Chancellor of Central University of Tamil Nadu, Thiruvarur. He is a scientist with a rich research experience in the field of biotechnology and environmental sciences. His areas of interest include insect physiology, molecular biology, nanotechnology, and cell biology. He has secured many awards and recognitions like Czech Academy Fellowship, Indo-Finnish Fellowship, TANSA Award, Regional Secretary, Society for Invertebrate Reproduction and Development in US. Apart from the academic and research experience, He is well known for his administrative exposure also. I extend a hearty welcome to Professor Krishnan and express my sincere thanks for gracing this occasion. I am extremely pleased to extend my very warm welcome to our beloved former IQAC Director, Professor Selvam, who is currently the Vice Chancellor of Bharathidasan University, Tiruchirappalli. Professor Selvam has 36 years of teaching and research experience. Out of his total experience, he served 32 years in Alagappa University. He served in various capacities like IQAC Director, Syndicate Member, Dean of Research, Dean of Student Affairs, Dean Faculty of Management, Member of Senate and Finance Committees of Alagappa University. Professor Selvam has expertise in assessment and accreditation of universities. He is nominated as the Accreditation Ambassador under the UGC Paramash scheme for mentoring NAC accreditation aspirant institutions to promote quality assurance in higher education. I extend a very warm welcome to our Professor Selvam. Alagappa University has set new benchmarks in the realm of higher education. Despite being one of the young universities located in the rural background, Alagappa University has been doing very well in research and development. That is evident in its current impressive H-index of 111. Alagappa University faculty members have been granted with 48 patents in recognition of their new inventions. Alagappa University also joins with the global community to convert light energy into electric current using the photovoltaic effect. Currently, 17 kilowatt of solar panels are being used along with the electricity, and the efforts are in pipeline to construct 650 kilowatt solar power plant on 4-acre stretch at an investment of 6.5 crore. This plant will be maintained by the Department of Energy Science to provide hands-on learning experience for the students. Alagappa University is taking several research initiatives in green hydrogen production, and the university is currently working on a consortium project from DST ICMAP with a grant of 11.4 crore, along with the 9 other important national institutions to produce green hydrogen. The seminar aims at exchanging information related to energy technologies and clean energy. The key areas of discussion in this seminar are clean energy, biofuel, generating green hydrogen and its applications for preserving our Mother Earth from carbon emissions. Today we have invited 2 external experts, Dr. Raghuram Chetty, Professor, Chemical Engineering Department from IIT Madras, and Dr. Ravichandran, Senior Principal Scientist from Central Electrochemical Research Institute, Karaikudi, and 2 more experts, Dr. Rajabadi and Dr. Arun, are going to deliberate on present need of India. All of them are eminent researchers in the field of green energy. I wholeheartedly welcome these eminent scientists. I assure you that the plenary sessions will be highly beneficial for the participants. Before I conclude, my exhortation to students is that you should strengthen your subject knowledge and resources in such a way that it empowers you individually and our nation. Alagappa University is the right platform to discuss on energy, since the faculty members are involving energy-related research such as solar cells, supercapacitors, batteries, fuel cells and hydrogen production. My wholehearted thanks to our Honorable Governor for initiating this seminar. Once again, I welcome everyone to this one-day seminar on the G20 New Delhi Leadership Declaration and Emerging World Order, India's cutting-edge energy technologies on clean energy. So thank you very much.
Thank you, Professor, for your inspiring speech. Next, I am pleased to invite Professor G. Ravi, Vice Chancellor, Alagappa University, to honor Sri R.N.Ravi Ji, Chancellor, Governor of Tamil Nadu, with a memento and shawl.
May I request Professor G. Ravi, Vice Chancellor, Alagappa University, to adore shawl and memento to Professor M. Krishnan, Vice Chancellor, Central University of Tamil Nadu.
I cordially invite Professor G. Ravi, Vice Chancellor, Alagappa University, to adore the shawl and memento to Professor M. Selvam, Vice Chancellor, Badasan University.
May I request His Excellency, Honorable Chancellor, the Governor of Tamil Nadu, to give away the certificates for Swachh Bharat, Swachhta Pakwada volunteers. I request Dr. S. Thambidivai, Swachh Bharat Coordinator, Alagappa University, to receive the certificates.
Thank you, dignitaries in the dais. Next, I warmly welcome Dr. J. Jayakanthan, Dean Faculty of Science, to deliver the thematic address.
A very good morning to all. With immense pleasure, I welcome you all to the one-day seminar on G20 New Delhi Leadership Declaration and the Emerging World Order, India's cutting-edge energy technology in clean energy. This seminar theme aligns with the profound concept of Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam, which signifies unassailable faith in one earth, one family, one future. I am privileged to welcome the Honorable Governor of Tamil Nadu and the Chancellor of Alagappa University through R.N.Ravi to our campus, who has come to preside over this event. I welcome you, sir. I wish to extend my sincere thanks to our esteemed dignitaries, the most respected Vice Chancellors, Professor M. Krishnan, Central University, Tamil Nadu, Thiruvarur, and Professor M. Selvam, Vice Chancellor, Badasan University, Trichy, the most respected Professor G. Ravi, Vice Chancellor, Alagappa University, and the esteemed Professor S. Rajamohan, Registrar of Alagappa University, along with member of syndicates, dignitaries on the dais, off the dais, our dedicated faculty members, administrative staff, and my dear students. Your presence and valuable contribution will undoubtedly enrich our discussion today. At the G20 summit, food security, climate, development, health, and digitalization were the key topics discussed, highlighting the G20 member nations' crucial role in global well-being with the following special emphasis on energy transition. The G20's high-level Valentine principles of hydrogen is designed to promote global emissions reduction and the net zero goals through fair trade in the line with World Trade Organization, regulations to combat global greenhouse gas emissions. Action plan on double energy efficiency by 2030 is our global strategy to double energy efficiency in this decade, tailored to each nation's unique needs, accelerating renewable energy in great challenged regions through global teamwork, capacity building, and tech innovation for universal energy access, providing affordable energy transitions to ensure accessible financing for developing nations, besides safeguarding energy access, security, and market stability, adoption of eco-friendly energy sources that is crucial for aligning resources with the objectives of the Paris Agreement. Developing nations require about $5.8 to 5.9 trillion by 2030 for their national determined contributions and an annual $4 trillion investment by 2030 in clean energy tech, striving for the net zero emission by the 2050. As part of the G20 Energy Transition Ministerial Meeting on Informative Technology exhibition took place in Goa, and the Department of Science and Technology displayed the innovations developed by the various research institutions. Energy transition working groups under India's leadership presented in 13 valuable studies in accelerating essential energy transitions globally. At this event, we focus on two crucial themes. The one is the shifting global order, and second one is India's pioneering role in renewable energy, emphasized in the G20 Leadership Declaration. We eagerly anticipated the presidential address by our Honorable Governor through R.N.Ravi and look forward to the insight from the Vice Chancellor's felicitation and expert plenary lectures on thought-provoking discussion on India's green energy initiatives. With our collective efforts, I am confident that we will pave the way for innovative solutions and a higher futures for our global family. Thanks to each one of you, and let us look forward to inside discussion in this meeting. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Professor, for a thoughtful thematic address.
May I request Professor N. Krishnan, Vice Chancellor, Central University of Tamil Nadu, to deliver the felicitation address. Please, sir.
Respected the Chancellor of Tamil Nadu Universities and the Governor of Tamil Nadu, my dear and respected Dr. Ravi, the Vice Chancellor of Alagappa University, Professor M. Selvam, the Vice Chancellor of Bharatdasan University, Dr. Jayakandan is Organizing Secretary of this wonderful conference, and the dignitaries on the dais and off the dais, students, syndicate members, Senate members, and media friends. I am so happy to be here to participate in this wonderful conference, the G20 New Delhi Leadership Declaration and the Emerging World Order, India, a cutting-edge energy technologies and green and clean energy. I think first of all I have to thank our governor to take up the steps to take that the G20, the proceedings to throughout India, not only throughout India, throughout the world. For them, we as a Vice Chancellor and academicians, thankful you too, sir, to take the message to different part of the country. As rightly Jayakandan told that we are one family, Vasudeva Kudumbam, but what it is going to say that we should design such a way that we are going to change I from we, I to we, that is it's not going to stand in future, Nangal is going to stand in future. That's the way we are going to change I to we. Why we need this type of conference in this particular Alagappa University? Alagappa University is having its own stature to do all the research. I can congratulate Professor Ravi because it is the first one university got the highest grade in the NAC in all the aspects of the criteria what we are having in the Alagappa University by the NAC. But why we have to do that in India? Because I think we are witnessing that an individual cannot achieve anything. We have to cooperate and collaborate ourselves to achieve something. For that, G20 is going to act. What is the example we had it? Because we witnessed the COVID-19 earlier. We are the country, joined with almost all the countries in the world, to design the vaccine for that COVID-19. It's not by single hand. We have joined together and then we achieve something. I think we can recall that we are one among the country to supply the vaccine throughout the country. This achievement has come because of the collaboration and the cooperation. Now G20 is going to tell that how we are going to achieve that to get the clean and green energy in India. For example, if I am seeing that 70% of the whole coal is going to be utilized by India. We are depending on the coal energy. If we are going to use this type of energy, what we are having, we are giving more carbon dioxide, carbon related things into the society, into the country. That's dangerous to the environment. So what we are going to do that, we have to use that alternative energy to go for that what you called clean and green energy. If you want to do that, some of the things we have to recall first. Fourth Sutra actually designed by our one minute please. Yeah. Fourth Sutra, what they are saying that International Energy Agency, that is number one, we have to know that what's the energy level. That is, there is no secrecy in the energy producer and suppliers. Number two, how we are going to work on that environmental concern about the green energy and green technology. Number three, we have to bring that awareness to that what you called the public, society. That is a very important thing. Then actually we have to see that how we are going to engage the people to work towards that what you call clean and green energy. My dear students, particularly when we are working on the four sutras, what we have to learn, number one, we have to develop the policy. The G20 tells that how to develop the policy. Why you need the policy? So all the country come together to develop the policy. Number one, when you want to develop the policy, we have to collect the data. We have to, bring out the data, and we have to digitalize the data. Then only we can come to the conclusion, point number one. Number two, what are the area where we can work for that alternative energy? That we have to collect, not only from India, all the G20 countries are coming together where we can collect that, what you called that energy. Number three, transparent. That is a very, very important thing. How you are transparent to bring out that, what you called that, how you are going to produce the energy. The next point is very important. We have to share the methodology. The methodology sharing is a very important thing, where we have to share that methodology, completely in transparent manner. Then fifth one, we all should work together. That is the point, what you call that every people are looking for. Once you have it, right, then what are the achievements we have to do that. But I am not going to elaborate all the points what they are going to tell, but my dear students, young students, kindly keep that mind. What are the innovations already available in throughout the world? The G20 exhibition at Goa, they explained everything. Number one, solar powered trains. Our future idea is to develop the solar powered trains, which is very important. Exhibition, we can get it. Number two, getting that energy from the food waste and prepare the solar panels. That is number two. Number three, bladeless wind energy. We have the blade when you are getting the wind energy, but now they are developing the technology, bladeless wind energy. Number four is lithium class batteries to have that long life. That is also the innovation coming from different country. Then it's a very interestingly rechargeable tires, where the tire will work with respect to the climate, with respect to the environment. that type of tire we have to develop, that is called rechargeable tires. Then sixth one is 3D printed solar energy trees. That means indoor, outdoor trees can be developed by 3D printing. By that, they can collect the energy and they have to give the energy back to that society. That is called 3D printed solar energy trees. Then seventh one, waste power plants. When what you call aeroplanes are having the waste material, that can be utilized properly to get that energy. Then sixth one is where carbon nanotubes. That is a very important thing. Now, carbon nanotubes are going to use it in nanomaterials to bring out the energy and utilize for the society. Then the final one is building the buildings that with the cools itself. We should not use that air conditioners to cool your buildings. You can construct the building in such a way that you have to bring the coolness inside that building. That is the final step they are doing it. But you can ask the question, is it possible to India? Now India is going very fast in scientific achievements. That's the way. Now this conference is going to discuss about that. What are the innovation? What is the excellence in the country? That it should go to the society. I can recall that our nation, father of nation, Mahatma Gandhi, what he told that our higher education should be respected when you are going to take that excellence of higher education to the society. Otherwise, our higher education will not be respected. With these few words, once again, I thank you very much. I get the opportunity to take the platform along with our Honorable, Chancellor of that universities, and I got all that, heartfelt thanks to the Vice Chancellor of this university and the Organizing Secretary, all the members to give the opportunity to discuss that matter related to that clean and green energy. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Professor, for your wonderful words of appreciation and insightful felicitation.
I invite with genuine pleasure Professor M. Selvam, Vice Chancellor, Baladasan University, to deliver the felicitation address.
Good morning, all of you. Hope you are all happy. The most Honorable Chancellor of Universities, the Governor of Tamil Nadu, Sri Professor Governor G. Ravi Ji, the organizing Vice Chancellor, Dr. G. Ravi, the thematic address given by Professor Jayakanthan, Vice Chancellor of Central University, Tamil Nadu, Professor Krishnan, and the Registrar, and all my erstwhile colleagues, great colleagues. I love them like animal. They also love me so much. And all the great audience, the great people of this city, nearby cities, government authorities, students and scholars. It's a great day. My role is felicitation. Whom should I felicitate? That's my first question. I think G20 had been there for several decades, but it is the present G20 has made a world-class impact. Almost all the 7.4 billion of world population, even more, and all the countries, though countries at warring heads, they have come together to have a great a consensus to make the declarations, and all the credits goes to our none other than Honorable Prime Minister of this country. I must tell that, but for that, the various subcomponents of G20 we might not have, perhaps I might not have learned at all. For your information, I am telling, there is not only one G20. Inside that, we have a B20, we have a C20, we have a P20, T20, S20, Psi20, W20, Y20, so many 20s. So each group, special group, is contributing enormously the totality of this G20. They have not left anything untouched. Everything that affects individuals, humanity, flora and fauna, and everything is brought under this G20 declaration. Honorable Governor Ji invited all the Vice Chancellors, wrote to all the Vice Chancellors that you must have programs like that. And I think Alagappa University has grabbed the first opportunity. So other universities will be following soon. We invited it from Honorable Governor Ji. So this is to take the message to everyone. Everyone has to act on that. So that is the great purpose. Therefore, the leadership of this country, the leadership of the state, I have to felicitate at this great moment. And this university is a special university. I have to felicitate this university as well because it is on top of almost all the higher education institutions in terms of ranking, not only NAC ranking, also in NIRF and other times higher education ranking. So it is maintaining its lead, all because of the great love and affection people have for this university to grow. And Vallal's blessings, Alagappa Chettiar's blessings are always here. That's why this university is able to grow like that. With these words, I don't want to take more time. So I have an appeal to the students, scholars. Please get into the website. Tons and tons of material available on all G20. And you must also know that G20 has become G20 plus 1. That is when African Union is added, it is becoming G20 plus 1. If it can be called G21 maybe in the near future. And G20 has one more feature. There is on 60%, there is on 70%, there is on 80%, and there is on 90%. 60% of the population, 70% of GDP, 80% of world trade, and 90% of patent, intellectual property, are all with this G20. That is a greatness. Maybe G20 is emerging as an alternative to other kinds of world bodies, including UN. Thank you for your time. Thank you.
Thank you, Professor, for your energetic and an inspiring speech. I humbly request Sri R.N.Ravi ji, Chancellor, Governor of Tamil Nadu, to deliver the presidential address.
Respected dignitaries on the dais, Professor G. Ravi, the Vice Chancellor and the host of this event, Professor Krishnan, Professor Selvam, Professor Jayakantan, Professor Rajmohan, other dignitaries, distinguished invitees, scholars, members of syndicate, my dear students, friends from the media, gracious ladies and gentlemen. At the very outset, on behalf of all of us, I pay my heartfelt gratitude to the great visionary, the great nationalist, a great soul, conceived this institution, who had a large dream to build a center of excellence in education, in higher education in the country, which was devastated by centuries of invasion and colonization. The great Alagappa Chettiar, he not only had the great vision, but he had the resolve to fulfill that vision and a large heart to give away all that he had, worldly possession, to build this institution. I humbly pay my respect to that great soul. I thank Professor Ravi, the Vice Chancellor, for organizing this event, and several eminent dignitaries who will add values to the day-long seminar. I am sure this deliberations over the next hours will enrich everyone, will bring greater clarity on the issues and will help pave the way forward. While the theme of the seminar, I am sure you will discuss in detail, I would like to set the context. And this context is very essential to understand for all of us, and especially for my young friends who carry the responsibility of taking us into the future. This context must be clear to you, that when we are talking about the G20, India's presidency of G20, and India's vision of the new world, which is enumerated and articulated in the Leaders' Declaration recently held in Delhi, the context of it. Friends, world order has been always in flux. It has never been a static. After all, this is a living body, a living planet, living beings, and it has to be dynamic. And this dynamic world has passed through different phases. It is important to understand the background, the phases of evolution of the world order, and the present scenario where we are. And only then we'll be able to think of the way ahead. So when we talk of the world order in the past, we are not going back too far. We'll begin just with the beginning of the Common Era, the beginning of the first century. The first millennia, the first 1,000 years, India was at the center of that world order. India was the largest, if you like to put it in terms of power, then economic power. It accounted for over 33% of the global wealth production, the GDP. In subsequent years, the centuries, by the middle of the second millennia, even until then, India was at the top, competing up and down with the only rival, if you call it rival, China. There was no United States of America, there was no Europe. To many of us, and especially the many of our young friends, it might look something very surprising. Is it so? This is our past? Yes, it was. And I urge you, those of you who are curious, to go on the internet and punch a report prepared by the OECD. And you know what is OECD is. OECD is a club of the rich and developed countries of the world. The report, if you punch on the net, World Economy Millennial Perspective. The World Economy Millennial Perspective, this report has been prepared by, commissioned by, this was a study commissioned by OECD with Professor Angus Maddison, a British economic historian, as the chairperson. It is available in the form of a book also. It tells you the economic status of the world, different countries, right from the first century onward. It gives you graphic details. And what was the provocation for this? What was the provocation for OECD to start this study? The provocation was, in 1972, Paul Baruch, another economic historian, wrote an essay. And in that essay, Paul Baruch says that United States of America became rich in the last 100 years. I'm talking about 1972. United States of America became rich in the last 100 years. Europe became rich in the last 200 years. Before that, India was the engine of growth and economic powerhouse of the world. Now this essay was not palatable, easily digestible to the people, especially the rich and affluent countries. And so OECD commissioned a study under Angus Maddison, Professor Angus Maddison, which submitted its report in 1982. And that is the report, which is available on the internet for any of you to have a look. So, if you look at I'm talking about the world order. So for the first millennium, for the first half of the second millennium, India was at the helm of affairs in terms of economic prosperity. Subsequently, we declined. Actually, the decline began, and if you look at the data, and it corresponds with the developments within the country from 13th century onward. When the Central Indian invasion started on, people from Central Asia, invasion started on India. And they came, the invaders started destroying the institutions of India. And when they started imposing taxes like jizya, it happened in the period of Aurangzeb, most prominently, it also had a serious impact on our economy. You know, understand what a jizya is. Jizya tax is for any non-Muslim to pay tax if you have to live in this country. This is jizya tax. So it impacted on the economy. Then came the European colonizers. They further devastated it. And so we were devastated so much that it became difficult for us to believe our own past. And so, with the decline of India, a new world order began emerging. Europeans went to America, North and South both. British and French predominantly went to North America. They colonized this. What we have, United States of America and Canada. Subsequently they fought, eventually French exiting, British dominating. In the Latin America, Spanish and others, they went, they colonized. They started getting the wealth. Meanwhile, with the rise of Europe, they also began colonizing the rest of the world. They colonized Asia, they colonized Africa. A large part of the world was colonized. And with this wealth coming from the colonies, Europe prospered sharply. At one point, British settlers in the United States, they broke ties with the parent country, and the United States of America was created. While these changes were happening, and they were big powers were fighting among themselves for domination over the colonies, mostly the French and the British, the Spanish and the British, Dutch, all these Portuguese, they were all fighting with each other wherever the area domination. They were also fighting in Europe, and 17th century was notorious for that. At the end of what is popularly called in history 30 years of war, in 1648, the European countries, they came to an understanding what is called Treaty of Westphalia or Peace of Westphalia, under which, having fought for long times, of which 30 years was a mass intense fight, self-destructive, they realized that if we will destroy ourselves, we must not come to some understanding. And as a long prolonged negotiations, hundreds of sittings, they came to an understanding in 1648, which is popularly called Treaty of Westphalia, where they said, look, whatever you have captured, that is your area, you have a sovereign control over it, and no other country should interfere in your affairs. That is the concept, political concept of sovereignty emerged then. There was no earlier concept like this. And with that, they controlled their fights, they restrained themselves. They started exploring new and new areas rather than invading the other. Eventually it led to the beginning of the 20th century, First World War, Second World War. Post-Second World War, a world order emerged. And this world order emerged around the interest of the victor countries, the countries who were victorious in the war. They created a body, which we call United Nations organizations, where the membership was given to all, but all were not equal. With the 5 countries with exclusive veto power, a new world order emerged about the two elements of material wealth, economic wealth, and military power. So, Since the Second World War, the world has been by and large guided by this order, where at the pivot of that world order is these 5 countries. Institution is the United Nations and its other various auxiliary bodies. And they became the arbiter of the world. In this world order, a last part of the humanity was nowhere except for namesake membership to the organization. A last part. India was not. India, in fact, was just made a member because India was, at the time when this foundation was laid, India was a slave country. India was not independent. Africa? No, it is not. A large part of humanity was left out at the margin. So the world order that we have been living for the last over almost 75 years plus, or 80 years, is the world order dominated by some countries, victorious countries, and the theme of that world order is wealth and military power. This world order was essentially Darwinian, or is, this world order is Darwinian. Survival of the fittest. If I am strong, which is nowadays it is called a smart. A smart means, a smart is a more palatable word. You have the capacity, you do it, you have it. If you lose it, you lose it. No tears. Now look what this world order has given to the humanity, to the world. Today, if you look at this, the core concept, the raison d'etre, the very foundation of this new world order which was created by the little country was there should not be any war in the world, to bring peace in the world. What happened? Soon after creation of this body and the end of the war, Cold War began. Soviet bloc, US bloc. And they kept fighting in different parts of the world, whether it's Southeast Asia. We know how Indochina, how this Vietnam, all these areas, Laos, bombing, carpet bombing, it happened. It did not stop war. War spilled over subsequently to other parts, including the Middle East. War, visible and invisible, it continued, absorbing the energy and lives of the world. It did not resolve the war. During this time, America having demonstrated its capacity of a nuclear weapon, and that is why the world order started pivoting around the United States of America. Subsequently, there were many other countries, and today there are several countries. Each of them have enough number of weapons of mass destruction which can destroy this world many times over. We are living in an age of unstable equilibrium. Anyone can go crazy and the world is gone. Now so did we get peace? Certainly not. Overt violence, covert violence, it continued, and it is still there. We are witnessing war in every part of the world. Somewhere more blatant, more visible, somewhere it is silent. But this world order which was created to bring peace in the world has failed to bring peace in the world. Next, till about 70, 80 years ago, nobody ever talked about a climate crisis. It was nowhere an issue. And today, we know what kind of future is awaiting us. Us means the whole planet. We know that Mother Earth is heating. We know that polar ice caps are melting. Glaciers are melting. And unpredictable weather and its consequences we are facing almost every day, one part of the world or the other. We know that there are many island countries. They know that if this continues, in the next couple of decades, they will be wiped off the map of the earth. They will be submerged. So, climate crisis. And climate crisis because of the reckless exploitation of the resources of the earth. Excessive use of fossil fuels, carbon fuels, excessive exploitation of natural resources. Because the world view was this earth is a resource. And if I am smart, if I am capable to grab it more, I must grab it. And so the competitive war of grabbing the resources began. Even the global commons remain only a theoretical global commons. Powerful countries began capturing. We know that today even the countries are claiming that the polar areas, which has been the no man's land, they say, no, this is ours. Space itself, ocean itself, wide ocean, this is open to those who are more capable. They are exploiting to the disadvantage of the others. So the climate crisis, we are all worried about the heating up of Earth, our planet. We all know that a devastating disaster is looming at us. Yet people have been blaming each other. You are emitting more, you are emitting more. I have emitted more, look, this is my lifestyle. You should not emit money more because now we must control you. These kind of things going on, but the problem is not being addressed with seriousness. So, this order, the world order, has not brought peace to the world, has created, in fact, more vulnerable world in terms of violence, in terms of mass destructions, because we have many more weapons of mass destructions are spread over larger part of the world which can destroy the world, and war going on in one part or the other. Climate, there was no climate crisis before, but we have a serious existential crisis for the world. We are facing it. And take what happened a few years back, 2 years back, global pandemic. When global pandemic struck the world, no one was spared. Rich and poor, all. And at that point of time, expectation was that advanced countries would be able to see how interconnected the world is, the problem that is virus that started in some one part of the world, soon within no time engulfed the whole world. There was no barrier for it. And it just started taking heavy toll of humanity. The whole world came to a grinding halt. We were all locked inside our houses. The whole world was locked inside. And at that point of time, there was expectation that the resourceful advanced countries would be able to help the less fortunate, the poor countries. Where was this world order? This world order proved utter failure. They couldn't do anything at all. On the contrary, the rich and advanced countries who developed the vaccine, a vaccine nationalism grew. Mercantile approach to make opportunity to make more money. In this background, it was India, thanks to our scientists, they developed a vaccine. And it is proved today, though initially there was a lot of skepticism, many people started talking across the world that how can India do it? Today it is established as one of the best, the most efficacious vaccine in the world. On the one hand, our scientists made the vaccine. On the other hand, another set of scientists developed an application called COVID. And with this COVID, it helped the management of vaccine and vaccination, the largest vaccination campaign in the world. Over 1 billion people to be vaccinated. And look at the beauty of it. I get my vaccine, and within seconds, my mobile gives me the certificate that I have been vaccinated, which makes my life easier. I go to either to catch the flight, to board the train, I am vaccinated. Very prudent use of resources, because the wastage of vaccine was reduced considerably. Vaccination was made possible. Not only that, we shared the vaccine with 150 countries in the world while meeting our own needs. So on the one hand, when the pandemic, the existing global order, it failed miserably, India showed the way to address the problem of a global nature. But if you look at all these various aspects, various crises which are facing the world and which will face the world tomorrow, whether it is crisis of war, crisis of climate. Crisis of climate is not just what is happening in different parts of the world, but the disaster which it is creating, while we have to take measures to control the deterioration of the climate, prevent the heating of the earth, but until then what? We have to be disaster resilient. Today, India is the leader in the world in creating disaster resilient infrastructure. We are not only doing for ourselves, we are reaching out to the rest of the world wherever there is a disaster, because the India's disaster resilient infrastructure building capacity and for India's capacity to deal with the disaster in terms of rescue and rehabilitation is now acknowledged across the world. Now in this, and we are also building a coalition of the countries so that we together, we are able to meet the consequences of climate crisis. Friends, the existing world order, which is not sustainable, the fact is that today we are poised, the world is at the cusp of a transformation when there is a new world order is emerging. And this is an opportunity. This is an opportunity for India to help catalyze that growth of the new world order. And I would further go to say that not only catalyze but be the mother of that emerging new order, give birth to this new world order. And that is in this backdrop, when the world is facing numerous existential crises, the existing world order has failed miserably on all counts in addressing the problem of the world. And there is an urge for a more sustainable, inclusive and equitable world order, we have G20. G20, we know that it began as a body of the countries with larger financial clout to create a system by which to absorb any financial disturbances or major crisis. It began in the mid-1990s, and by the first decade of the present millennia, when the economic financial crisis struck the world, it became more relevant. It was essentially created to deal with the financial crisis and work out a collective and coordinated mechanism to deal with the financial crisis. But the COVID has given it yet another dimension. That the world crisis that humanity faces or the world faces is not merely financial. It's a human crisis also. Pandemic can be a major crisis, bigger crisis than financial crisis. And this crisis, the existing world order has failed miserably. It also needs an answer. What should be our response to? What kind of world order should be there to respond to such crisis? So G20, presidency of India, and thanks to India leadership's vision, that it enlarged the G20. It extended it far beyond its initial responsibility of a financial manager, a body to deal with a financial crisis. It became a body. India made an effort and succeeded through the declaration of the leaders that this is a body which must think, must worry about all the problems facing humanity, not only financial. It was to the India's credit that we expanded, and the world saw it. Everyone was was worried about the crisis, worried about the problems, how to go about it. And at this point of time, India showed the way. That collectively we must think of a world which is sustainable, which is inclusive, which is equitable. And that is India demonstrated further. When we talk about inclusive, G20, again 20 countries, they said that they accounted for about 85% of the global GDP. But Africa was not a part of it. How can you keep such a large body of humanity out of it? And then you think you will address the global problem. No. Thanks to India's presidency and India's leadership capacity, that G20 became inclusive by including the African Union. It became a voice, India became a voice of the global South. What India is doing and what kind of future for the world, we say this has to be clear to our youth, to all of us. The fundamental shift that India is bringing about, and bringing about by practicing, it's walking the talk, practicing within its own country. Fundamental shift is from the GDP-centric development to human-centric development. For all these years, we have been measuring GDP. But we know that the countries with a very high GDP has got a large number of homeless people. You have people who cannot afford medical treatment. It's again Darwinian. GDP, if it is not equitable, It doesn't bring peace. It doesn't bring prosperity, which can be shared by the larger humanity. So the shift is from GDP-centric to human-centric. And this, when we talk about human-centric, the fundamental shift is again, and this I urge you all to think over, is based on our thousands of year old cultural ethos where we believed Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam. The word Yadamure Yavarum Kelir, the world is a family. And when we talk about the world is a family, this world as a family has begun the exercise in India. This country itself is a family. The fundamental change which in the last 10 years have happened with the present leadership of the country. Until then, we were also following that very model. GDP. We were addressing problems of poverty. We were addressing problems of health, problem of infrastructure, incrementally. Every government will come, get elected in Delhi. They will have a 5-year plan. For the 5-year plan, how it is prepared? Each state will prepare its own plan, come to the planning commission with the annual plan, break up in annual. Well, this much is our resources, so this much to health, this much to education, this much to infrastructure. We kept building hospitals, we kept building schools and colleges, we kept building roads, we kept generating electricity, and yet, even after 7 decades of independence, India remained a home to the largest number of sick, poor, illiterate people in the world. Where did we miss? The government before were not sleeping, they were doing what they could. What was missing was the vision. We thought that incrementally we will do it. And when we do incrementally, means there are people who will be left out. This again is an European thinking, greater good for the greater number. Those of you as political science student, you know Bentham, who was the progenitor of this greater good of the greater number, greatest good for the greatest number, which was also, this utilitarian view subsequently explained and elaborated by John Stuart Mill. When you think about the greatest good of the greatest number, means lesser number can be ignored. Now this is not sustainable. In our country, our cultural ethos of 1,000 years has been Sarvajana Hitaya, Sarvajana Sukhaya. Everyone, Sarvodaya. Nobody is to be left out because every individual is a manifestation of the divine. We are all member of a family. And when we are a member of a family, can we say that if a member is sick, I will only treat if the one, not the other? Can you say that, okay, I will keep some family members hungry while others will be fed? Can we say that you will give clothes only to few members, not to others? No, you cannot. This fundamental orientation that happened with the present leadership is to look at the country as a family, as a kutumbam. And that is why today, if you look at all the schemes, take it health, Ayushman Bharat. Ayushman Bharat covers every individual, every part of the country. Irrespective of the state, whether it is of one political dispensation or the other. It doesn't leave anyone out. Getting medicine, generic medicine at affordable prices. Jan Aushadhi Kendra. 10 years back, we had less than 1,000, hardly about 500 Janaushadhi Kendra. Today, we have crossed 10,000 Janaushadhi Kendra, where you get a medicine, which the branded one costs 100 rupees, this one costs you 10 rupees, with equal efficacy. Multiple approaches. Building more hospitals, more medical colleges to produce doctors. Every district to have a medical college. Because we need doctors to cater to such a large number of our people. Alternative medicines, going for our traditional wisdom, because people have lived for thousands of years before the advent of modern medicine. There are a lot of merit in our traditional system of medicine also. So give a thrust to the Ayush. Comprehensive approach so that the health reaches to every citizen of this country, irrespective of where that citizen is located. Taking electricity to every home. And today we are nearing almost 100% electrification. We are all very, very close to that. Not that we will have this much, this 5 year, this much next 5 year, no. We set a target and we continue covering every citizen. Because it's the family. In the earlier model, even in the developed states, there were regions of underdevelopment. In our own state, Tamil Nadu, which is otherwise a progressive state, there are pockets of deprivation, pocket of backwardness. There are districts which are way behind the others. And this is not only here, it's everywhere. So even in developed states, there were large pockets of underdevelopment, because the model was Darwinian. It's not if a MLA or a minister of a particular constituency, a particular district is smart, he will give to his district. No. So what we did, what the central government did, identified all over the country which are districts which were backward. 120 countries were identified, now it has come down to 112 around. It is a dynamic, Niti Aayog does the monitoring. These backward districts, all over the country, they were not called backward, they were called aspirational, to give dignity. And with a special focus, a special pumping of resources to those districts. Now, you know it, and I'm very happy to share, large number of those backward districts, which are aspirational districts, have now come up, they are competing with the rest. Because this uneven development, uneven growth, it cannot be in a family. It has to be comprehensive. Another model. You know, we are all in the age of technology. How to take technology, the benefit of technology to the last man. Technology, by definition, it used to be prerogative of the elite. And so long it is a prerogative of the elite, it can be an instrument of further enlarging the gap. But what we did? Through the Digital India initiative, we took technology to the last man. Today, with the trinity of Jan-Dhan, you know, Jan-Dhan accounts, zero balance account, we have more than 50 crore account holders in the country. Every household is accounted. Initially, when it was started, people mocked at it. What is this bank account? Bank account is only for the rich people. No. This 50 crores people, more than 500 million people in this country have bank accounts. Aadhaar and mobile. Combining all, it created a huge quantum force. Financial inclusion. Today, all the benefits which are supposed to reach the citizen, it reaches directly, without intermediary. Direct benefit transfer made easy. Intermediate leakage stopped or considerably reduced. It also gave dignity to the individual. For everything, people used to go for services to the government offices and used to plead as if you were asking a great favor. And the office, fair chance that you would be ill-treated. This democratization of technology, taking technology to the last man. We have reached optical fibers to almost we covered the panchayats all the way. Now we have reaching the most of the villages. Almost we have reached more than 85% of villages. We have taken optical fiber cable. So this technology, which is a force multiplier, and we are in an age of technology, benefit of it must reach every man, every woman. And with this, all the facilities, all the benefits, whether it is homeless, home to homeless, where the cooking gas to a house which doesn't have the cooking gas connection, everything is streamlined. Technology's democratization. India showed the way. How technology can be made for the benefit of everyone. And that is why our motto is not greater or greatest good for the greatest number, but it is Sabka Saath, Sabka Vikas, Sabka Prayas. Ellaru Danum, Ellaru Kagum, Ellaru Muyarshum. All together. This is how we move. This is model which India has offered to the world. And the world is looking at it. And in this process, when we talked about saving the planet, one of the major was energy, or to which we will be talking today. Energy, transition from the fossil to the non-carbon. Look at 2015, when in the Paris COP, when the Prime Minister said we will set up International Solar Alliance, we said that, look, energy is needed. Without energy, how do we grow? But is it necessary we have to be dependent only on fossil fuel? Can't there be any alternative? And they say, look, here is sun God, inexhaustible energy. Can't we go to him and ask for and tap in the energy? And when International Solar Alliance was created in 2016 early, there were very few countries, mostly they were skeptical. Of course, France joined India. And today, more than 100 countries are member of it. International Solar Alliance is now a reality. When we started solar energy in 2016, and today we have increased more than 25 times the energy, solar energy that we are generating today. The installed capacity of our solar energy is over 71 gigawatt. Similarly, other alternative energy. Wind, moving in a big way. Energy from waste, moving in a big way. So non-nuclear, non-carbon, nuclear is not possible right now, but we have set a destination. We have set a goal. By 2070, we will be net zero emission. By 2030, we have a target that we will be 50% of our energy need will be from clean energy. We have a target to generate 500 gigawatt of clean energy. Today, when I am saying it today, my data is not of today. My data is of August this year. We have installed capacity of 131 gigawatt already. I am very sure that we will reach the target of 500 gigawatt energy, clean energy before 2030. We are moving with just determination, walking the talk, showing the world. Hydrogen is a new entry. In 2015, as 16, when we had started the solar and all, nobody had thought of at that point of time that hydrogen will play such an important role. And today it is a reality. And I am happy that this university, Alagappa University, is doing a leading work in hydrogen, creation of hydrogen energy. I am very happy about it, thanks to the leadership. So, This, today, with our sustainable lifestyle, which we are trying, we have also given a call. Numerous, if you start counting, there is no end to it, you will keep counting. For the food security, when India suggested millet, because every place doesn't have sufficient rain. So in the climate resilient crop, millet. And at the India's initiative even declared it as Year of the Millet. There is a greater thrust on it, more nutritious, and it can be grown, cultivated in a less water area. Lifestyle for sustainable climate, for environment, sustainable environment. This movement started. For general fitness and well-being, yoga has started. The world has started accepting what India gives the advice, because India is demonstrating it. And it is through this, all these initiatives, that within less than 10 years, from the 10th economy in the world, we came to the 5th, and the world acknowledges that soon we are going to be number 3. We are experiencing comprehensive transformation. But this transformation is not only for India. We are doing this transformation for the whole world. When the G20 presidency came to India, we gave the motto, Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam. The world is a family. We must grow together, because that is where our future lies. That is where our destiny is. We cannot remain in a world order which is competitive, and full of rivalry, which is essentially Darwinian. This is not acceptable, this is not sustainable. We are growing based on our centuries-old cultural ethos that believes that the divine is present in every being. Not only humans, but even in animals and plants. Respect the nature, respect the plant, respect the animal, respect every human being. All of you, several hundred of you sitting here, 1,000 of you sitting here, I am to be able to see myself in all of you, and you also be able to see me in you. This is India. This is not a slogan. This is not a political statement. This is our way of life. This is our cultural ethos, which we have inherited for thousands of years. And along this ethos, we have to build a new world order. And this is fulfillment of a dream, which even Rishi Aurobindo, on 15th of August 1947, when India became independent, Rishi Aurobindo, you must have heard his name, he wrote a dream on that very day. The day has come. The day has come for India to fulfill its destiny. And its destiny is to save the world. Save the world with Indian values. And the values is, we are a family. We are a kutumbam. Friends, in the course of the day, I am sure on the specific theme you will discuss, you will deliberate, and a lot of good will come out of it. I just wanted you to be conscious of the context, because today, especially my young friends, you are the one who will be carrying the responsibility. Today India is poised to be at the cusp to create a new world order. It's not the time for us to think small. It's not a time for us to think incrementally. It's a time for us to think bold. Take big decisions, bold decisions, and have a strong resolution to fulfill the decision. And with this, we have an obligation that in the next 24 years, by 2047, when India completes the centenary of independence, India will be in a position which will guide the destiny of the world. Thank you very much. Wish you all the very best. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Chancellor Ji, for instilling and throwing light on the crux of the world order, Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam, and instilling the seed of confidence among the young minds and teaching fraternity.
Thank you, sir.
May I request Professor S. Rajamohan, the Registrar of Alagappa University, to propose vote of thanks.
Honorable Governor of Tamil Nadu and Chancellor of Universities, revered Vice Chancellor of the Great University, Professor Dr. Ravi sir, esteemed guest, Professor Dr. M. Krishnan sir from Central University of Tamil Nadu, esteemed guest speaker, Professor Dr. M. Selvam sir from Bharathasan University, Trichy, respected organizer, Professor Jaikandan, Madam Dr. K. Alamelu, organizer Professor Dr. A. Arun, honorable members of syndicate, respected deans, respected heads of the department, respected faculty members, respected administrative staff, and the children of the great university. Very good morning. Here I stand before you to propose a vote of thanks. Remember the speciality. Really, we people are very great, and I am very privileged to propose vote of thanks, and we have the right person. And even our Professor Dr. Selvam sir told us that we are very fortunate to have our governor, that too the first university we have with regard to the concept. And remember, our governor, actually he touched all the areas, starting with the history, moved on to geography, even sociology, and some, you can remember even economics, even planning, 5-year plan, all that we, sir spoke about that. Let me say something about the concept sir touched. Remember, see, he highlights more about our founder ji, because only because of our founder we all are here. And see, then treaties, we know that a lot of treaties we have with regard to Government of India is concerned, and how we were and how we are, all that sir spoke about. And GDP, much about what is our GDP at present, and what is our contribution towards the world economy. All that sir spoke, and with regard to US and UK, all European countries, and see, much actually sir spoke, and we gained a lot about this. Not only that, even veto power and world order. See, we know that where we stand, and where we stood earlier and where we stand now, and with regard to China, and whether we have equilibrium and or not, all that sir spoke. And see, remember that even one concept we can have, see, he's touched regarding one kudumbam. See, we know that Yadamuri, Avarangelir, sir has highlighted, all that, it's highly useful for us. And finally, even see, the concept we have, it is G20, and our other speakers, full of green energy and clean energy. But what is the necessity that we have this, and where we stand, what our government is doing, all that sir spoke about much. And you please recall and keep in the mind with these brief details. I record my sincere thanks and gratitude to our Governor of Tamil Nadu, Mr. R.N.Ravi ji. Thank you, sir. Thanks a lot, sir. Followed by that, even our own professor and sir was here, and with regard to IQAC, sir did lot of work, and we are all the time speak about, see, with regard to NAC, our score is 3.64. All the time we remember our sir. And with regard to sir, actually what we have seen, that what we are seeing in the board and what we learned that G20. And even earlier we have a lot of concept with regard to 20s, we have B20, we have C20, we have D20, S20, W, Y, all that we have, each and everyone is having much significance. But this G20 is having lot of significance, that's are highlighted, but we have other sessions, we can learn much more about that. I extend a very thank to our professor Dr. M. Selvam sir. Thank you, sir. So another professor, we know that sir, when we say about our sir and biotechnology will come to our mind, and sir is basically environment science, and sir spoke much about even leadership declaration, and one concept you can remember that don't say I hereafter we, because we all joining together and take the nation to the great height, and individually we can do little, but when we do much more, when we do collectively, we can bring the nation, and we can bring our university, even our, we can bring our family to the great height. Sir has emphasized that one, and sir, you know that sir is a great scientist and the great environmental scientist. With this, I express my deep sense of gratitude and thank to our professor Dr. M. Krishnan sir. Actually the concept just introduced by our professor Dr. J.J. popularly, and sir Jaykandan, we know that basically head of the department, and he gives some tips on that, because you people know, but people like us, because this is closely related with us and daily we are seeing, and he spoke much about clean energy and green energy. Really, people like us are realizing the importance of the concept, and we are remembering our professor Dr. Jaykandan. I extend and express my sincere gratitude to our professor Dr. Jaykandan. And Madam Organizer, Dr. Alimilu, and sir, actually Madam took a lot of effort, and for the past 1 week, Madam is moving here and there, and Madam along with Professor Dr. A. Arun, they took a lot of effort. On behalf of you and on my behalf, I extend my thanks and gratitude to Madam and Mr. Dr. Arun sir. Sir was actually, we all are here because of our Vice Chancellor. You know that under his leadership we move very fastly, and all the time we are thinking about that, and even on Sundays or even on holidays you can see him in his lab, and such a great leader we have. And sir give introduction and some of the strength of us. Please note and recall what are the strength we have and where we stand and where we have to move. All that you have to remember. On behalf of everyone, I extend my sincere thanks to our Vice Chancellor, Professor Dr. Ravi sir. I extend a very gratitude and thanks to our syndicate members and deans, heads of the department, and faculty members. I also extend my sincere thanks and gratitude to our administrative staff members. Only because of them, we are doing all the work. I personally thank all the administrative staff, and we have committee. We have 19 committees. All the committee members and the convener, they took a lot of work, because I am also one among them, and we took a lot of effort. Only because of that, we all are here. Finally, I thank our children who are here, and even in the seminar also, some of the children we have. And I thank all our student friends. And one more thing, you have to remember that now it is to be over, and followed by that you have very good session, and you can learn much, and try to make use of that. Up to evening we have sessions. With this, once again I thank everyone. So thank you for the great opportunity. Thank you.
Thanks to our registrar. Let us all stand for national anthem.
जनगण मन अधिनायक जय हे भारत भाग्य विधाता पंजाब सिंध गुजरात मराठा द्राविड उत्कल बंगा विंध्य हिमाचल यमुना गंगा उच्चल जलति तरंगा दव शुभ नामे जागे दव शुभाशिष मागे गागे दव जय गाथा जनगण मंगलदायक जय हे भारत भाग्य विधाता जय हे जय हे जय हे जय 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 जय